What's up, guys? Quinn with 74 Weld here today to talk about a new wheel and expand on kind of our wheel line, talk about some axle widths. This wheel is essentially same look, same criteria that we developed for. It is a 17 by 8.5 plus 50 domestic forged beadlock, machined in-house, same design as the 6-on 5.5 wheel that we released months ago. This one is just designed and developed specifically for our Jeep package. So it's got 2 more lugs and a bigger hole through the middle and a larger pad on the back. It is still designed to accommodate all of our brake packages. This is the tightest package that we can develop for our Jeep customers. And that's why we made it. So a couple little changes that we've made since the first release of the 6-on 5.5 wheel. We put the valve stem the same buried spot so you're not going to hit it. The one thing that we did change is we added a secondary drilled and tapped hole on the opposite side for a Schrader valve. Schrader valves are commonly used on all of your kind of higher end aftermarket shocks. They exist in race wheels so that people can run inner liners on those. That's not what we put it there for. We essentially put it there as a secondary spot. When you're airing down, you can have something clipped to that Schrader valve so you're constantly monitoring tire pressure, because I find that between, the power tank monster valves or the Apex quick deflate valves, your tires are deflating so fast that I kind of will sometimes overshoot tire pressure that I want to be at. So we just added a secondary spot so you can pop one of those quick release valves and you can monitor pressure as it's deflating, and then you're not kind of, okay, it's 9 seconds to get a 40 down to 12 psi. You can just monitor it as you go. If you don't want that 1/8 inch MPT plug, easy to plug off, it's also buried and protected. So this was kind of the driving force behind this wheel. Now, 2-3 weeks ago, we posted a YouTube video about portal width, and we talked about our package, design constraints, and everything around width that you would normally care about. So what I wanted to do with this wheel is talk about some comparisons to that and give you guys hard numbers of exactly what you would expect. And I'm going to pull up a cheat sheet. I'll start with, I guess, 2 different things. So, I talked about this in a prior video of when customers call and talk with us about wheels, we kind of say, look, like for Jeep, we don't have that many great 8-lug options. The one that we kind of fall back on, that we push most of our customers to, is a Method 704 HD. That is a 17 by 9 plus 18 bead grip wheel. It's cast or flow formed. It's a good wheel. It's bang for the buck. That's going to be your best option. Then you get up into forged beadlocks, and you're spending double to triple the price. Again, this is a $1,200 wheel. It's expensive. We just want the option to exist. We're not going to force you to take that option. But if you're considering either option, what you do care about is not what your wheel mounting surface is going to be. Nobody cares about that. Or you should not care about that. What you should care about is outside of tire to outside of tire. And this is something that we're always going to hammer on, because that is your effective width. I don't care if you say that your portal is only 1 inch wide, but the best wheel that you can fit on that, because the brake option is poking way outside the wheel mount surface, is like a 0 offset wheel. What you care about is combined everything, and at the end of the day, what is your outside of tire to outside of tire dimension? So I'm going to run through some of these. When we're talking about a JL Rubicon, it doesn't matter whether it's a JL or a JT. Rubicon package, new generation Jeep stuff. Put portals on that package with a Method 704 HD and a 40 by 13.5 by 17. And I use this combo because I feel that this is the most common combo that any one of our customers is going to run. With the Method wheel, you're going to be 88.5 inches outside of tire. With our wheel on that same package, you're 85.5 inches outside of tire. If you have a Sport, and when I say Sport, we don't make a portal for the JL Sport. We just don't really get requests for them, and we kind of decided that we'd cross that bridge when we get there, but we haven't crossed that bridge, and we're just not. So JT Sport, yeah, we've actually done quite a few of those. Same with like the Willys package. So Sport width is 1.5 inches narrower than Rubicon width. So that puts us at a Sport package with the Method 704 is going to be 87 inches outside of tire. With our wheel, you're going to be 84 inches outside of tire. The reason I think that these outside of tire dimensions are so important is you can easily compare that to like an aftermarket 1-ton Dana 60 package that is very common in our industry. And you can go, hey, you're running, a Currie 60 package. It's 70. They call them 72-inch wheel mount surface. But what you care about is outside of tire, right? Because if you're squeezing through stuff on a trail, that's the dimension that you care about. So take our numbers, compare it to, I've got a friend on 1-tons. Our portal's actually wider. You'll find that in a lot of cases, we can, with the right wheel and tire combo, we can make you narrower than like a traditional 1-ton swap. Now we'll go into our Currie package. So the Currie package that we have run, and this is what I run, it's essentially JK with housings with JL brackets, and then the Currie stuff is 05 plus Super Duty knuckles with a Super Duty portal with JL steering. It gets complicated, but trust me, we've worked it out and we'd be happy to talk with you about it. Let's get numbers on that. If you ran a 17 by 9 plus 18, you're 86.5 inches outside of tire. With this wheel, we would be 83.5 inches outside of tire. I will not sit here and say that one is better than the other. And the reason I say that is everybody has a width that they like, and it's personal preference, and I don't think that anyone is correct and none of them are wrong. I will get into a debate with a good buddy of mine who he's run a bunch of different width portal packages, so have I. He likes factory JL width that puts him pretty wide. He likes a wider vehicle. I like something slightly narrower, and this really depends. It comes down to personal preference and also something to think about. The wider you are, the more you have to drive over obstacles. The narrower you are, the more you can drive around obstacles. So, this was a topic of conversation at King of the Hammers earlier this year, where there's one car in the field that is wildly different than everything else out there. Most Ultra 4 cars are pushing 90 inches wide. A good buddy of mine, Tom Ways, who was in contention on lap 3, That car is 83 inches outside of tire and 112-inch wheelbase. You look at a lot of the, like Lauren Healy, I'll get this number wrong, but he's 120-ish inches. So, there's just different schools of thought. I don't think that one is better than the other. It's what do you prefer, and I think it is important for me to at least shed light on why would you want one versus the other. Can-Ams, UTVs, that kind of stuff, they're able to work in the rocks because they don't have to drive over everything. They can drive around stuff. That narrower vehicle is going to turn better. The wider vehicle is going to be more stable in off-camber situations. Everything is a give and take. I've kind of hammered on this on suspension design as well. There is no such thing as a perfect setup. It's what is right for you. And this wheel kind of fits right into that, because is it the perfect wheel for you? I don't know. That's up to you to decide. In all of this stuff, we want to give our customers options and better options. And if we're going to build something, it's because it fills a niche that we feel is necessary and not currently offered by anyone else in our industry. So it's really just, how do we round out our product line? How do we make better solutions for you guys? And anytime I'm going to come with a product, I'm going to talk about why we did it and why you may or may not care. But I'm never going to sell something saying, this is the best wheel on the market. No, this wheel can make you narrower if you want that. Is it required? No. Write down some of the lists of the numbers that I'm giving you and go compare them to your friends and your current vehicle. And then you can settle on, hey, I want to be 86 inches wide. Well, we'll give you some options of how do you get to that number, and you take it from there. Any questions on this wheel, throw them in the comments. I will answer them. Did we miss anything? I think we're good. We'll see you on the next one.